My name is Henry, and I've been RVing for the best part of 30 years now. And so this is a technical video on an improvement I'm making to the RV we have right now. We've been doing this informally for a couple of years, but now I'm making this connection permanent. And the idea for it originally came from a group on the YouTube channel called RV Geeks. Their version of this is far more sophisticated than mine, but this will, for what we're doing here, will work just fine because we don't do that often. So this is an auxiliary ground support plug-in. So most RVs have 30 or 50 amp plug-ins. Depending on the time of year or what you're trying to do, that isn't always enough. So for example, if you have a 30 amp plug-in, if you're running your air conditioners, you probably can't run both of them. Or if you're running appliances, you can run some of it maybe, but not all of it. And so once in a while it's helpful to have the additional 15 amps that you can get from the same plug, same post. But more importantly, if you are driveway camping, say, depending on the RV, this one you can run an air conditioner, one air conditioner, off of a full 15 amp plug. And of course not much else. So if you want to be able to do that and still run other things, it's nice to have a bit of extra power. Also, if you're cold weather camping in a driveway, you want to use some electricity to augment your propane system so you don't burn out your propane so quickly. Having an extra 15 amp to run a heater is really a nice thing. So when we did this before, we would run the wire through one of the windows at the front. And of course that always leaves a bit of a draft and so on, and when it's minus whatever, that isn't completely satisfactory. So what I propose to do is to run it underneath into one of my storage bays. We just a plug hanging down, and then when we connect there, and then just cut a small slot in one of the seams, the storage seal, and then the cord can go through there and out where it has to go. And so the link is actually very short and very simple. So what I've done is just going to have these pieces of equipment here. I'll show you what I'm going to install, and then we'll chronicle this as we go ahead. So first I have a surface mount junction box like this one. So the back of this screws, or whichever side, screws right on to the front of the wall, so we're not cutting a hole in the wall. The RV walls aren't thick enough for that. And then we'll be mounting the standard wall plug to that, and then we'll be mounting a switch to turn it on and off, and of course the requisite faceplate as well. So that'll be on the wall. Then we'll run a conductor from this plug and switch down through the floor and connect this plug to it, which will allow us to connect. And what I also bought was a chunk of 25-foot of contractor type extension cord, and this is the heavier version. I think it's 12 gauge. Anyhow, so it takes the full 15 amps here, and that's really a heavier cable. So you know, when you're running a bit of a longer line, and I've got a bit more of this in the RV, so this gives me probably about let's say 65 feet if necessary. So that's the system, and over the next rest of this video we'll be able to see how I put it all together. Stay tuned. So this is we're partially finished this new point. So just beside the door here, where I have there the inverter, you see it in blue there, that's a 600 watt inverter that comes up from the power system underneath. And then there's the mounting for the surface mount for the GSC2. So what I'm going to do is we'll put a switch and a plug here, and then about there we'll drill through the floor, and there'll be a plug underneath there which we can then plug into it. So it's actually a very simple system, and I'll show you the other parts I've been working on. So in addition to the mounting on the wall, so this is the surface mount plastic box, and all you do is just press it on to the other thing I've screwed on the wall, and it snaps into place. So it's very easy. So this is the setup we'll have. This switch is down when it's off, and it will glow if there's power. So that way we know there's power. And if the switch is up and that engages this, then the light will go off, but you will have functionality here. So that would be in that standard position. Then the wire will come out. I'll just bend it and screw it to the wall, and then this will go through the floor. I'll shorten it up, and then we just have this plug, and it'll just be available in that compartment underneath. And then we just run a cord like this one. This is construction grade extension cord. That hasn't opened yet. But this has got a heavier current rating, so we can go a bit more distance and stuff. So this will be probably the type of cord that I will connect, and I have another 30 odd feet of cord like this to go with it. So we're about half done right now, and so the next step, I think, will be to drill the hole so that I can shove the wire down into the compartment, and we can get that right measured. We'll snap this in place, and then the face plate, of course, goes right on front here, and this will snap in place like I said, and then we screw the wire down, and that's going to be about all there is to it. We will have to attach this. It's snowing outside, so I was trying to resist working in the bad weather, but the idea is that we'll have to attach this outside. But what I might be able to do, again, this isn't all that difficult work, and I'm sure we can set it up. Even if I have to do that job another day, it's not the end of the world, since we're not really using it right now. So anyhow, it's coming together pretty well, and I'm kind of pleased. I'm sure this will finish up just nicely. So the idea of the auxiliary mount would be, let's say, to run a ceramic heater like this one, a 1500 watt heater that you can't run if you only have 15 amps, let's say, and you're using other things. So here is the finished project. You can see the switch. Now I put it in with the lettering upward, but of course that means it works the other way. So currently, with a plug-in like this, the switch glows when the switch is off and there's no connection. If I throw the switch, it will then allow current to flow to the heater over by the cab, and the switch goes out. And so then if I turn it off again, so I have a bit of control, which I always like, here like this. And so that's the business end here in the RV proper. Now we'll go outside and just have a look at the way we connect it. So this is my electrical bay. You can see the white cable that has come through the floor. It's now connected to a contractor's cable, and it'll just hang down. I'm probably going to leave it connected to the extension cord just to keep it from flopping around when we're driving. But that's really all there is to the system. So this didn't cost me very much, maybe $50, I don't know, with all the little pieces, but it really seems to be just going to work great. So thank you very much for watching.